Hi everyone and welcome to my kitchen. It's Colleen here and tonight I wanted to show you a brand new recipe, pressure cooker rice and beans with avocado chimichurr. Does that not sound like it belongs on a restaurant menu, right? With a wine list? I promise you can make restaurant quality meals at home when you have the right tools, like a pressure cooker or an air fryer. I am using the Pampered Chef Deluxe Multi-Cooker. It is the next gen version of the pressure cooker. Some of you might remember the quick cooker. Well, you know, we all know how iPhones and Galaxies, they come out with a new version like every 2 weeks. This is the next generation of the quick cooker. So this has some added features. Right now I am searing on high some peppers and onions. Not gonna lie, this is my second take on this video because my husband came in and started talking to me and didn't realize I was filming. So I can't redo this part of it, but we're using the sear function. It now has an option. You can sear on low, medium, or high. I have it on high. And we also have now a sous vide function. So if you've never done sous vide, it is amazing. It does take longer. It takes a couple hours, but when you're cooking with sous vide, so basically you're filling this with water and you're putting your meat or vegetables in a plastic bag, and then you cook it in there. It takes a couple hours, but oh my gosh, you can buy less expensive cuts of meat. Throw them in there. They come out amazing because of the way the sous vide works with the pressure and the water. It just makes, it's great. It's a great money saver. Steaks, amazing. Pork tenderloin, so good. But it does take a couple hours. So I like it when it's hot out, like it is right now. Or if we're busy, if we know we're going to be working in the yard or we have somewhere to be, then I know that we can throw it in and let the sous vide do its thing. We also can use this as a slow cooker. It also is, you can use it as a custom pressure cooker. And I just love this new version of it. So this recipe is pretty simple. It doesn't take long. If you can imagine me not yakking at you, it does not take long at all. These vegetables are just about softened. So while I give them another minute, I'm going to show you what's going in afterwards. So I have some fire roasted diced tomatoes here. They are a can. And if you haven't seen our smooth edge can opener, if you've never seen one, guys, no more cut fingers on, especially if you're recycling, right? Washing out things for recycle. This goes flat. When you turn it clockwise, the two little wheels lock together, and then you just turn it clockwise. Sorry, my elbow's getting in the way. Turn it clockwise. When I get my new table, I'm going to have a lot more room for demoing. And then when it gives, you turn it counterclockwise, and then we use our little teeth here to pull up our lid. And it's super smooth. There's no hard edges. These need to be drained. So I'm going to toss them on top of my beans. I'm going to put my camera for a moment. So these are my beans that I've already drained. And I love this colander. It's 5 quarts. And I love it. I'll show you the bottom of it when I use it. But I'm just draining them right on top of the beans because those are all going to go in together. By the way, when you are using canned beans, make sure you rinse them, because that takes off the extra sodium. And I usually just rinse them as I'm rinsing out the can for recycle. All right, these guys are good to go. Thank goodness, because I'm sweating. I'm going to cancel it. Okay. And our next setting is going to be this white rice setting, which is down here. And then some of the other settings, we have a dessert setting. You can steam this. You can use this as a steamer. I'm already getting a facial tonight. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot the yogurt function. You can make your own yogurt, which may not sound like a really exciting thing unless you're like us and you can't find the flavors that you like anymore. It's super easy to make. I just let it go overnight, and I will video that another time. But we have, I told you, onions and peppers in here. And now we're going to add some garlic. You know Pampered Chef, you know the garlic press. This is my original garlic press from, I think, 1997. No joke. It has been well used. And I'm just going to press 1 clove of garlic in here. And, you know, this is the little tool for it. Looks like a little, you know, Barbie brush. That's to clean it. But the other thing you use with it is this edge. Use that to use it to scrape right off. Okay? And if you ever lose anything like that, we have replacement parts. I don't know that a lot of people know that. So if you're missing like a lid to something or a protective cover for a knife, you can get that replaced. So there's our garlic. And then we're going to throw in some salt and pepper. And these are salt and pepper grinders. So handy to have these out all the time. And then we are going to also put in salsa. I have a half cup of salsa here. I will post this recipe, but this is the measure all cup. Yogurt, peanut butter, honey, anything that could, mayonnaise, sour cream. There's this side that does the sort of dry things, and then if you flip it over, this is hollow, so you can also use it as a liquid measuring cup. If you have this, when you fill it, if you need a half cup or whatever the measurement is, always pull it down just a little bit so that you can give yourself some room at the top so you're not precariously using it. It's not spilling everywhere. See how clean that was? All right, so that's our salsa. And I'm going to stir that in. And that's kind of giving our peppers and things a nice flavor. And we're going to throw in our beans and our tomatoes. Just going to make sure I'm not going to drip it anywhere. Here they come. I'm going to plop them right in there. Okay, and here's what I wanted to show you. This colander has this silicone, it's actually a hard silicone, what do I want to call it? Ring on the bottom so it doesn't scratch your sink. You too can do this job. Forgetting names of things. So now I'm going to stir. This is my beans and my fire roasted tomatoes. This is going to impart a whole lot of flavor into our rice and beans. To this, I'm going to add a cup and a half of long grain rice. So that is not arborio. That's dark grain rice. It'll say long grain rice on the package. I think that's what most people purchase when they're purchasing rice. And then 2 cups of, you can use vegetable broth. I didn't have any, so I'm using chicken. It's gonna be fine. It's not really gonna change the recipe too much. So I'm gonna stir this all together, and then we're gonna cover it. And then I'm gonna make the chimichurri. This is actually smelling really good already. So pressure cooking is just forcing water into food at a high rate. It cooks faster, and it leaves your food, because it cooks faster, you're not losing as many of the nutrients, and you're getting all the flavor. So this will beep at you when the lid goes on. Now, I probably didn't put my ring in all the way. I didn't. So when you have your silicone lid, you want to make sure you push it in all the way, or it's not going to seal. There we go. So that's how you fix that. Again, the steam goes away from you on this, and now with the new generation, there's no button on the top. It's here, so your fingers are completely free of the steam, which is so great. Okay, so we have white rice. Oops, there we go. And it goes for, I think, 10 minutes. Let me double check that. So sorry. Like I said, anybody can do this job. And yes, I'm using a magnifier. So white rice. All right, so I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna cancel it totally. And then we're gonna go to custom. Okay, let me go back to white rice. We can do beans on here. You can soak your own beans. Okay, so I've got the white rice going. This is telling me it's running. It's going to tell me that it's preheating. There's a little clock here now that you can see. And it's going to preheat. And then once it comes up to pressure, it's going to cook itself. And I can walk away from the steam. So there's that piece. So let's make some chimichurri. All right, so this is pretty simple. it is, we're going to use our manual food processor. If you have not seen this, it is so great for dips, salsas. I use this for guacamole all the time. Guacamole. And my mom actually loves it because she has arthritis, so she can chop things without cutting her fingers. So I've already got some dried cilantro in here. I didn't have fresh, but that's okay. If you're using dried herbs, you're going to use half the amount that you would if they were fresh, because dried herbs are a little more potent. So that's what you want to do. So I'm using a half cup of cilantro, and then I've got some juice of 1 lime, because I wanted to show you this one. So our knives, actually, this is our utility knife. All of our knives are 1 piece of forged steel, which is really great. They're lifetime warranty. And what do I want? I want to move these things, and I'll show you why. I'm going to use our citrus press. We do have a juicer, the traditional one that sits on the, it has a flat bottom. This one I just like to keep it handy in the drawer. This is 1 lime is already in here. I'm going to put it this way. I'm going to put it with the meat of the lime facing outward. And I'm doing this not right into my manual food processor because it does squirt when you use this one manually. So I'm doing it right into my measuring cup. And this is one of the easy read measuring cups. And they are great because you don't have to do squats to read your measurements. They're right here on the side. And I'm actually not measuring this. I'm just using it as a vehicle to catch my lime juice. Okay, great. No waste there at all. Squeezed all of it right out. Okay. So this is 2 limes, but you can see, maybe you can't. I'll put my bar board here so you can kind of see it. You can see that the measuring things are on the bottom, so you don't have to do all those squats. Unless you want to, then, use a traditional measuring cup. So I'm going to put my lime juice in here. These come in different sizes. This is the 2 cup. And there's my favorite one is the baby one. This guy, 1/4 cup. Anytime you need like a few tablespoons of like soy sauce or something, use this guy. You don't have to like rest your tablespoon on the counter. Works great. Okay, so we've got lime juice, we've got cilantro. We are going to use a 1/2 teaspoon. That is a tablespoon. And we use the adjustable measuring spoon. They come in a teaspoon and a tablespoon size. It's only 1/4 that we need, so we can slide it. This actually comes off to clean it easier. That's 1/8, so I want a 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. We're going to get a little heat in here. And then I'm also going to dip into my salt. I need to fill this bad boy up. So it's a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and some pepper. You know what? I think I'm going to use, these are peppercorns. So I'm going to do this. Looks good. About a 1/2 teaspoon. It'll be fine. So this blade is removable. There is also a cap for this if you have leftovers, which I never do, so sometimes I forget to tell you guys that. Then the last thing we are going to put in here is some avocado and then some oil. Okay. So, super exciting. Here's our avocado tool. Now, when you are looking for an avocado, if you do not know this, I know a lot of people have been into avocados and they like it. When you press them, they should yield just a little bit. Let me see if I can show you that better. So there's like a little dent there now. And this stem, which I already took off of that one, here we go. It'll pop out really easily. So there's a little stem in there that will pop out and it will yield, and that's how you know it's ripe. This is our avocado tool. If you've ever, I know so many people that have had an incident with avocados. This is a sharp serrated edge, so you do have to be careful. But the great thing is, most accidents with avocados happen when people are pitting them, and I can vouch for that personally. I won't horrify you with the story, but I can vouch for that. This has a sharp serrated edge and a smooth edge. So, what's this guy? Looks like a, I don't know, what was that game we played like one of those backyard games. It's a pet remover. Oops, stuck on there. There we go, just like that. And you can use this side to go underneath your avocado and get it out. I'm actually just going to use this to score it because I'm just going to scoop it out right into the food processor. Yeah, probably should use a dish towel when I do that, but better yet, leave it on your bar board and keep your fingers out of the way. Okay, I'm going to open up the next one. So here we go. Again, this sharp edge gets through the skin. And we also, one of the other things we do have is guacamole mix, and it is such a time saver, so yummy. All of our spices are gluten-free, and all of them make great dips and rubs. So you can take a Southwestern seasoning and make it into a dip for tacos. This one might give you a challenge. Let's see. Yeah, this one's going to be a challenge because I didn't cut it quite down the middle. Let's see if I can get it out. Nope. Want to give this a try? I might scoop it. That's a good idea. All right.
No, use the thing.
This thing?
Yeah, the scoop end of it.
No, that's what it's. Sorry, guys. So this has a really sharp edge.
Yeah, but
see if you can get it in there. I didn't cut this in half enough, so I'm gonna get some assistance from our studio audience. Oh, fantastic! How'd you do that?
I scooped it.
You can scoop it. You heard it here first.
That out of anything that deals with avocados, that thing's
this is the bomb.com. So you can use I told you can use this to get underneath the skin, but I like to use my fingers. I still do. I don't know why. I'm very tactile. And also when your avocado is ripe, the skin's going to come off very easily, just like that. And then we're going to break this guy up. I am going to press one other clove of garlic in here. I'm saying that out loud for me so I don't forget.
Press it for you?
It's going to get pressed right in here to the manual food processor for the chimichurri.
It's not going to get pressed, it's going to get chopped.
No, it's a press.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. So.
I miss out on any of the avocado.
So, oh my gosh. See what happens? How quickly you lose your train of thought. So, I did not anticipate this would take as long as it would, or I would have done one of these ahead of time, but I will quickly do this, and then we'll show you how the chimichurri comes together. And then I will take a picture of this when it's done, because this is coming up to pressure. It's almost there. My little wheel is telling me it's almost completely preheated, and then it's going to go for a little bit. And then we have to let the steam, there's two ways to release steam on a pressure cooker. You can either release it manually, which is by pushing the button, pay attention, pushing the button, or you can just let it sit and the steam will come out on its own. So, this recipe, and it usually tells you in the recipe, this recipe says, do the steamer. You know what? This avocado is not as ripe as I thought, so here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to spend more time on it. I'm just going to show you how the chimichurri goes together, and then I will throw the rest of this avocado in after and spare you my avocado drama here. Okay. Here's everything in here. Oh, where's my garlic clove? There. So it calls for 1 garlic clove, but these are small, so I'm going to put 2 in here. Now, when you press garlic, the smaller the garlic pieces, the more intense the flavor is. So if you slice it, you're going to get a mild flavor. If you press it, you're going to get a stronger flavor. And if you use jarred garlic, never have I ever used jarred garlic. I don't think I will either since I've got this press. Okay, so the last ingredient is olive oil. We're going to pour that in. We want to be careful not to hit the top of the blade because there is a little indentation in here, which is where the top fits into. So you don't want to spill anything in there. So if you're putting in, cinnamon or seasoning or a rub, I always put my thumb over there before you fill it. That way you don't get any into the indentation where your top goes. So I think you can see that from here. This, so easy. So great if you're camping, if you're a camper. I'm not, but I've heard people think it's I heard people think it's great when they're camping because you don't need electricity for this. So pretty wonderful. And see all that? I'm getting all good and mixed up in there. Once I get the other avocado in there, it'll be great. So I give it a little shake just to move things around. And you can see, I'll show it to you. Look at that. There's some chimichurri. So it's a little runny, but it'll thicken up once I wrestle with the rest of this avocado. So here we go. Rice and beans and some chimichurri. Imagine if I wasn't talking this whole time. You would have thrown in your vegetables, seared them for a few minutes, then you throw in your salsa and your beans and your tomatoes and your garlic and your salt and pepper, and then your rice and your broth, and you put the top on, you set it, you walk away. This takes a few minutes and you've got yourself an amazing meal that is worthy of any restaurant, and I would bet a lot less expensive. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, post them below, and I will also be sure to share this recipe as well as the final product. You're always welcome in this kitchen. Have a great day.